good evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time it is you're watching this video. I am Nick, and this is American Made Rock Crawler, and today I have SLC BUILT Jeeps with me. I've got Brandon
and Don.
And Don. Say hello, Brandon.
Howdy, guys.
Say hello, Don.
Howdy, guys.
If you haven't heard from SLC BUILT Jeeps, they are a local Jeep club, and they are also a 501c nonprofit, correct? So we're going to get a little bit know these guys a little better and hear about things that the club's up to, things they're working on, and things that they're going to be working on in the future. I guess we'll just start with Don right here. Don, where did you grow up at?
I grew up here in Kearns. So
Yeah,
again,
local?
Yeah.
Very cool. I have grown up in pretty much all over Utah, but I'm a Utah local myself. I've spent most of in fact, my whole life here in Utah. Brandon, where did you grow up at?
Same. Grew up in Taylorsville. Utah local.
And when you were growing up, what are your early memories like getting into the off-road scene? What did it for you?
Well, so interestingly enough, it was my father had given me a TJ that I was driving around, and I thought, well, this is cool, and kind of wanted a little bit more of the creature comforts. Went out and bought a 2012 JK, and in this garage got its first lift and tires with you doing it, and then going out with you and a couple other people that I was like, oh yeah, I'm hooked. So I got into it a little bit late,
right?
But I love doing it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you get into it; it's kind of still the same. What about you, Don?
I got into the game a lot late. I've only been doing it probably about 10 years. So when I got my first Jeep, earlier in my past, I went off-road and stuff like that in full-size trucks, but nothing like this.
Right. Well, I always tell everybody when I got into off-road, it was as a young kid, and it was my uncle's square body Chevy, and that was it for me. So I I remember doing a lot of stuff in trucks, but it was mostly it was like mudding and going on fire roads and stuff like that. I don't think I really got into the rock crawling and like the really hardcore stuff that I'm into now till later in life as well. But I've always been into having like a 4-wheel drive. I was like, when I first started driving, it was all about getting 4-wheel drive. So
didn't you have a Tacoma?
I did.
When you first started?
That was my first, like, I was a Toyota guy. Oh, through and through. I used to make fun of Jeeps.
Right. As most Toyota owners do.
Right. That's a thing. If you're a Toyota guy, you're supposed to make fun. And there's nothing, usually it's not necessarily mean-spirited. It's just, it comes along with the territory.
Right.
You got to know how to make. I used to say I always get stuck behind Jeep brake lights on trails, waiting for them to clean plate obstacles that I could do easily. So
now we just say that about Broncos.
right. So there's always somebody out there to make fun of them anyway, right? So when you guys, how long have you guys known each other?
Well, yeah, that's even an interesting story as well. So I was actually part of another club, and Don came kind of into the scene with this new SLC BUILT Jeeps group, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know who you are, and had posted up in the group that I was in, saying, hey, I'm going to go run. It was a Forest Lake, I think. And I says, all right, we'll just make sure you're we're still under wet trail closure. Make sure you're, staying off the trails. And then I see his post, from later that he went up there. And I'm like, man, I hope it's not, hope we didn't tear anything up. And I contacted him after, and he's like, I don't think we did, but if we did, I'm happy to go help repair any damage that was done. And actually came up on the next run with us up to Forest Lake, and kind of a survey scout. And of course they didn't, there was no harm done, but he's like, hey, I'm here, and if you want help, doing anything, I'm here. And I was like, well, that's a really good kind of motto to have.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, okay, he, being aware of, the trail damage that you can cause, and then be willing to go and fix it if there is any.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who I was like, oh man, is that what this SLC BUILT Jeeps Club is about? And at that point, so I was like, well, I gotta learn more about Don and what he's doing and his group and how they're doing things. And from there, I was just like, yeah, I'm in.
So what was your idea behind starting SLC Jeeps?
Well, I was a group of quite a few other Jeep clubs, and you always get the hate and the bashing and making fun of other people's Jeeps, and you got to have this and you got to have that, and I just didn't want really any part of it. So I'm like, you know what, I can do better.
Yeah.
So I started my own club.
Well, there you go. That's not a bad way to go. I myself have had club fatigue before, is what I call it. They get everybody has to be in a Jeep club and wants to do this, and then I've also seen a lot of done a lot of follow through on some of the things they say they are about or say they do, which I don't see as the case with you. I've seen the SLC built Jeeps involved in many projects. It would appear lots of. I would like to hear some about it, and you can share some of that. But what are some of the projects that you guys have been involved in?
Well, and that's kind of, they are kind of broad spectrum, right? So first and foremost, everything that we really do is really about one being the kids. If there's kids involved, chances are we're probably involved. So, as an example, last year, and we'll do these again this year, we did the Ride the Brainwave event, which is for terminally ill kids. We did the Cruisers for Kids that benefits Shriners Hospital. We did the Little Miracles show out in Tooele. I'm missing one.
There's another one. I can't remember what it is.
But yeah, and these are all, it's weird the way that I think about it. We get invited to a lot of car shows, and that's what a lot of these things are car shows, which typically you wouldn't see a bunch of off-road vehicles at, because they're all classic cars or, stuff like that. And so the fact that a lot of these shows, Grinch Fest, that's the other one,
Coming up.
that have kind of invited us into the fold and said, man, the kids really love when you guys drive up on each other's tires, and you're there because classic cars are cool, but for kids,
Right.
Jeeps are cool.
Which kid doesn't like to play with the truck?
Right. And so we've gotten these invites from a lot of these other car shows that are like, yeah, bring the Jeeps down, stack the tires, the kids will love it.
Right.
We've done a bunch of other things, like the Days of 47 parade downtown, escorting the committee members through the parade. We do the local one here in West Jordan, driving up on each other's tires through the parade route, which I think is something that I actually saw you and Tom Carlson, I think it was, in Fairview.
Yes, that was. Yeah, I have some ties to Fairview, and we used to do that back in the day. That was a big thing, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
The Duck Derbies for kids.
Yeah, and Duck Derby. That's a single parent project that they just reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and said, "Hey, you guys interested?" And absolutely. And they want to go big. They're like, "Can you bring like 20 Jeeps?" And we're like, "You tell us how many you want, we'll get 5 to 10 more than that."
very cool. Well, you know what? I think a lot of people relate to the fact that the off-road and the community, passing it down to the next generation is an important aspect. And so on top of, number one would be important is what the event's about and what we're trying to accomplish. But doing events that are centered around kids and the next generation is something that often is overlooked. But like when I tell my story, that's how I got into it, was being passed down from the previous generation. And I think that's an admirable thing. And it also is a very important thing. It's important to pass it down to the kids, because not only will it bring joy and excitement to them, it connects generations together, fathers and sons, mothers, daughters, to do things together. And it also, it gives you an opportunity to teach kids about things like tread lightly and trail etiquette, and setting that example and setting that tone. I honestly, sometimes I believe that some of the worst offenders that do things that are, I'll call them foul on the trail, is people that weren't shown the right way, at a young age and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's really cool to have kids involved and to pass that on to them.
And we certainly encourage, when we do a monthly trail ride, usually every month. Nothing that we do is overly crazy, not the stuff that you're doing, but we encourage, the drivers to bring their kids, bring their dogs, bring the whole family. Like, let's, and the idea, along with kind of teaching that younger generation, is there is a lot of new to hobby, to the industry, even young drivers, even old drivers, that, buy their first Jeep or off-road vehicle. We do actually have a couple of adopted Broncos at this point, but
Way to expand yourself.
I think there was 2 Toyotas that actually joined from
These Broncos.
yeah. But they go and they buy this off-road vehicle and they have no idea how to use it.
Yeah.
And I've been to events. I've been to Trail Hero. I've been to EJS. I've been to Winter 4x4. And, you get somebody that this is their first time on a Jeep and they've signed up for a 6-rated trail.
Yeah.
And that really kind of puts a damper on the rest of the group because they're, I don't know what to do. And so I've been in that situation before. So I would rather teach and educate and get people up to that speed before they go out and join these events and hold up a whole group. And if it means that I have to run 5 Mile or American Fork Canyon or, anything 100 times we say it's all about seat time.
Yes.
It's all about
firm believer in that one. And, it's been a few years, but I don't know that I've ever had a bad day in American Fork Canyon. So it can be a little bit congested down by the reservoir at times, but you get back up there in the hills and up. I mean, my favorite is Mineral Basin, but any of them up there that's a good time.
I think that's yours too, Mineral Basin.
Yeah, I like the waterfalls.
Yeah, it's just beautiful up there. I mean, there's a good amount of wheeling and a good amount of scenery. It's just it does it for me every time.
I'm a fan of the Mary Ellen's Gulch.
It's a beautiful one
that
too.
Overlook at the top.
Getting to the top of there is there's something to be said for that.
Yep.
And honestly, there was a while back that me and my wife used to basically move into Forest Lake for a few weekends out of the year. Every year, it was like,
your camping spot.
Yes, camping at Forest Lake is a beautiful thing. So I had some good times up there. So what's going on this year? What do we got coming up?
So I guess along with we'll be doing all those same shows again this year. I've already kind of confirmed with most everybody already this year that we'll be at Grinch Fest, we'll be at Brainwave, we'll be at Cruisers for Kids, we'll do our own Go Topless Day this year. That's kind of a TBD. We're kind of toying with some ideas of doing a trail run and then maybe a barbecue or something afterwards. So that should be fun. Along with our monthly trail rides, I'm always looking for opportunities to go out and help. And we've gotten, like last minute requests like, hey, can you and the Jeeps go do this drive-by for this sick kid? And, within a day, we've got 40, 50 Jeeps lined up, ready to go that, will go drive by a sick kid's house or something like that. So we're easily, especially when it comes to kids, happy to jump in and do what we can. But we'll also have a couple of service projects this year. So we adopted 2 trails last year. That's the Key Peak and Timpanuki Road. Key Peak is formerly known as Squaw Peak.
Oh yeah.
So those are our 2 adopted trails. They did. And so we will do cleanups on both of those. We did both of those last year. Picked up a ton of garbage. I'll send you some pictures on that one because that was a really good cleanup on both of those. And then we'll obviously go up and do a survey probably this spring, see if there's any repairs needed or kiosks that need to be rebuilt.
Very good. Those are important projects that often get overlooked by the greater community, I think. I think that there are some select clubs that do a really nice job of getting involved. So that's good to see. The more that we can spread that and get more people involved in projects like that, the better I think will be. The fight to keep trails open and public lands public is one of those ongoing battles that's always in the back of my mind, something I'm always thinking about. So that's good to see that you guys are putting those projects out there and getting those things done.
Well, and I've talked to Tread Lightly several times over the past few shows, just in conversation. There's a lot of work in some of the more remote areas up towards the Colorado border that he can't get anybody to come up and help, do anything up there. And I've said, just give us a date. It doesn't have to be National Public Lands Day. It doesn't have to be our service project. Like, you need help. It's an excuse for us to get out and go wheeling a little bit. And, and really the reality is, and I say this on every trail run that I go on, is that every trail run is an opportunity to do a trail cleanup.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't care if you're a 5 mile wheeling. I don't care if you're going up American Fork Canyon. And I get people all the time, I'm not picking up garbage. Well, okay, well then you tell me where the garbage is and I will pick it up.
Well, that one and the other one is that I don't see any garbage. And it's there.
It's there.
You just need to go poke around. You'll find it.
You'll find it. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have enough people in the world that make a mess of it. So,
well, and even 5 mile and Salt Lake Off-Road Expo just did a big cleanup out there.
We were there covering that one.
Yeah, that was, they had 2 dumpsters and 2 truckloads
full of tires. I'm just pretty sure the consensus was there's somebody selling tires that doesn't want to dispose of tires. Now, I don't know if this is one of
pay to dispose of the tires.
But yeah, because every tire you're going to pay a disposal fee at the dump. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to that, but it sure seemed like a lot of tires, just all these similar tires, in the same spots. So I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We were actually doing another event at one of our partners that day, and I heard all the reports from the Off-Road Expo cleanup, and I was like, wow, that's what we need. And I tell people all the time, yeah, we're SLC built Jeeps. The reality is, we're club agnostic. You want to go run something with Dirty Adventure Crew or Unleashed Off-Road or Utah Jeep Crew or any of the other clubs around here. Again, it's seat time, right?
We have good relationships with all of them.
And please go run stuff with them. Run stuff with us. It's not going to hurt our feelings.
So if somebody wanted to join up with SLC BUILT Jeeps, wanted to get some information, well,
surprise! So Brandon was just going to tell you how to get and hold with SLC BUILT Jeeps. Now, it's no surprise to some of you, but this is my first dive into the media atmosphere, and I'm hoping to become somewhat of a content creator, but really a story creator and a film creator. But it's going to be a long go. So we had a little editing problem on the last couple videos, and I'm redoing them right now, and SLC BUILT Jeeps was one of them. The ending got cut off. So if you want to get a hold of SLC BUILT Jeeps, you can get there on www.slcbuiltjeeps.org. They also have a Facebook of the same name. They're on Instagram. And you can also reach out to Brandon and Don. If you need further information, go ahead and put it in the comments and let me know. And thanks for watching the episode, and have yourself a great day. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. And we'll see you next time where we have Mr. Crawl Zone.